talked about. I can probably edit this out, and I could not figure out how to edit it. So I went ahead and made a second video, uh, and I like the quality in it. I like the video quality. I like the audio quality, but this didn't feel right. It felt like all over the place. Well, yeah, it did feel all over the place. I decided, it's 4:44 p.m. right now. I'm gonna try one more time and see how it goes. So where I've been. So this past year has mostly been on me focusing on trying to go to work and just trying to make myself a place there. Things haven't really been going as I expected them to. Uh, it's a really hard. It's a hard trade, basically. I don't think I went in fully prepared, but again, you can't really go in and fully prepare for a job like this. I went to school. I've been doing schooling and stuff like that, but I was going to school while working in retail, so I never really got to see any of this stuff hands on until I started really, and a lot of that stuff is really is technical, which I'm okay with in a bit, but it just takes time and it's sort of hard to do because I'm a fucking idiot sometimes. So anyway, things were going a little rough, so I decided to go back to school so I can go get my associate degree. The reason's pretty simple. I just went into this job with a few certificates, basic welding and basic factory automation, and that's pretty much it. That's everything I got. And if anything happens to this job or something goes wrong, I got 2 years of experience and no actual degree. So most of these people that want these people with these jobs, they want 5, 6 years of experience, they want proof, they want degrees, and I still don't have any of that. So, and it's very difficult to find a job like that. So I went in and decided to go back to school, and that's where the fun started. So up in it wasn't August. It was like June, July. I tried to register for fall courses, and no, I think in May I tried to start registering for fall courses. And the student portal that I was using wasn't letting me do anything at all. It wasn't even letting me set up appointments with one of my advisors. So it was open. Basically open advising at the college that I go to. So one day getting out of work, I just came home, took a shower, got ready basically, and drove over to the college I'm attending. And I got there early, like I always do, because I'm an idiot. Like I always do, because I'm over dedicated. And so I went in, hung up around for an hour, talked to one of the advisors. Hey, what's going on? Hey, I've been trying to register courses. I can't. You guys think you can help me out? And they were trying to look me up with my student ID and everything, and they couldn't find me. And they started asking questions, and I told them what's been going on. So I had taken a 2 year break from school because I was more interested in working right there. I was more interested in making money, being able to pay bills, put a roof over my head, stuff like that, and get myself to where I wanted. Because I wanted to be able to pay for school and stuff like that without really an issue. And with COVID being around, I just was trying to focus on that basically. Because the courses that I take are mostly all lab based, so you need to be there in person, and already I was already having a hard time doing the classes because they weren't really offered. I was taking classes in orders that just shouldn't be taking them. I was figuring out how to use a lathe and how to weld before I knew how to read a blueprint. I was doing electrical and basically learning electrical, mechanical, all of that with no idea, no basis behind it. Because classes that I actually needed weren't really. I was doing PLC classes before I did electrical. I was doing mechanical, and then I had to wait about a year and a half to be able to take. I was doing mechanical and hydraulic, and then it take about a year and a half before I could take pneumatics. So this major thing, this trade school, so to say, with the school isn't really it's active because nobody wants to go into it. But honestly, nobody really knows about it, and the people like me, we're have to struggle the ways we do things because there's no one that wants. Not that nobody wants to go into it, but nobody knows into it, and they also families or parents or stuff like that. Everyone puts shame into being a blue collar, working in the field, working with your hands. They're always saying, "Oh, I want you to be a doctor. I want you to be a scientist. I want you to be an engineer." Because I don't want you to work in a factory. Yet they don't tell us how much these trades make. They don't tell us what these people do, and they basically ignore it. They bring shame into it, and then we're wondering, we're complaining about everything else. So anyway, I went and sort of told him what happened. And he said, "Well, here's what happened. You technically got kicked out of school because you were in a mission for about 2 years." And he started to look at my face like, "Ah, shit." Basically, the expression of, "Ah, shit, how much money and how much time did I just lose?" And he's like, "Oh, nothing to worry about. Everything's pretty much still counts. You just need to go re-register, do the whole reapplication process. Should be pretty easy. Really nothing really to do. Just when you're a returning student and whatever." And they get to go, and I was like, "Hey, I need to go to work. Later. Could I do this at home, or do I need to do this here?" And he was like, "No, you can do it at home. And once you get that done, just come back and see me, and we can help you get sorted." So I did that. So the next day I got out of work. No, next day was my day off work. So again, got out of work around 6 something. Went to Starbucks, picked up coffee. Came home, took a quick shower. I had already done the registration process. I had the admission email or whatever, so I went to go. It was still open advising. Drove over to college, got there early again, just sat in line just to get ready for it. And the guy that I was working on the day before, he saw me. I was working with him again, and some lady brought in another student and pretty much just kicked me out of my spot. Like, I was sort of already sitting down with the guy talking about what I needed to do, and he's like, "Hey, he knows the best about that major. I'm gonna need to borrow him for you. She needs to talk to him. It's really important." I'm like, "Okay." I went and stepped back in line, sort of overheard what they were talking about. I'm like, I haven't gotten a fucking sleep yet, and you kick me out so they can have just a shitty conversation. Okay, whatever, cool. I'm not gonna have an issue with it. I'm gonna be pissed off, but I'm not gonna have an issue with it. Whatever. I guess that's what I get for taking a break from school. So anyway, another advisor, I called up to go see another advisor. I went and talked to her. "Hey, listen, this is what happened. I took a break from school, and my major was canceled while I was out." And he was like, "Oh, how much were you doing or whatever?" And then I pretty much told her, "These are the classes I've taken. This is what I've done. I've taken English 101, I've taken Speech 101, I've taken Math 140 something. I forgot what. It was like college math or whatever. I've taken hydraulics, pneumatics, CIM, computer integrated manufacturing, basic welding, intermediate welding, industrial electricity, PLC 1, industrial electricity 2, or otherwise known as motor controls. I've taken machining, and I don't know what I can do with that. And I know that there's others. I know about this other project or whatever, another route or whatever it's called. Basically, manufacturing engineering, something like that. Manufacturing technology engineering. I'm not 100% sure about it. What it's called. Don't really care at this point either. That's for later on in the story. And she said, okay, well, yeah, we were actually told about this. Actually told that major was going to get killed off. We didn't know how many people were actually involved in it. But this major is technically the replacement for it. And this is what I heard, that these two classes, these courses will be combined, 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 blah, blah, blah. And everything should transfer over. Fine, no problem. But if you do have questions, I would go see the leadership for that program. It's like, all right, so what do I need to do? And she's like, oh, okay, well, you would need to take data machining class, which is the class that I took over the summer, basically over the fall, I guess, which was basically machining 2, which is basically the vertical mill, mold the mill, and take this, and you're going to take metallurgy and a few other courses to be able to get the degree. I was like, okay, cool. It's like, what time can you actually go to classes? What's your are you working right now? What's your work schedule? And I said, well, that's the thing. I work nights. I don't work. I work 12-hour shifts. I work from this hour to this hour every day, basically pretty much every day. It's like, oh, well, all these classes here are only offered at night. How are you gonna do it? Like, oh, because I was looking through the classes and I saw some that were open in the morning, and I chose that one. And it was basically a different campus. It was about, depending on traffic, about hour and a half away. Well, coming back home, it's like 15 and whatever. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. And she's like, that's a 4-hour course. I know, but I really need to get this degree. And she was like, okay. You can drop the class if you feel it's necessary. There's really no issue with it. You might just be out the money, and I'm like, I'm okay with that. So anyway, on my way out, went to the student parking lot, which is actually went to the student parking lot, saw one of my old professors, talked to the guy who was having fun. He was a little bit wondering, because I was working, I was making good money. Why I'm going back to school, and it's like, I really want to get an associate degree. I really want to get my degree. That's really important to me. And he just gave me that look like, what the fuck are you doing? Because he knew we talked personally, so he knew about my schedule. He knew what I do for a living right now, my work schedule a little bit. He's like, I don't think you should be doing that, but okay. If you want to, if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out to me. I was like, all right, cool. So anyway, I went, took my milling class. Actually did pretty good. I'm actually pretty proud. I got out of that class with like a B. It was like a 5-week course. Basically, yeah, a 5-week course. So it's a 4-hour class, 4 days a week. So that's 16 hours a week into 5 weeks. So it involves our first day we actually we used the SAR or whatever. We were actually going to start milling, and we had like a quiz in class, and it's basically a ton of, I've seen 10 video, like 18-year-olds, basically they're kids. They want to be machinists and stuff, and they were complaining like, oh, but you aren't teaching this shit in class. Like, you guys got a textbook. We all had textbooks, like the school gave them to us. And these dudes always smelled the weed. Honestly, they smelled the weed like holy shit, it was fucking insane how bad it smelled sometimes. And they were just doing other stuff there, and they were like, and they weren't doing it in the quizzes, and they were started complaining. So he's like, all right, if that's the case, we're just not going to go to the lab. We're gonna do 3 weeks basically just classwork, and the last 2 weeks, if we got, it's gonna be, well, last week we got to do a lot of milling stuff. It's we got for the NIMS test, which is basically like they basically tell you if you can be a machinist or not. They're sort of the certification licensing committee in a way, and they tell you this is what you do, this is what you do. You're you're incompetent, your competency, you're good, you're a master. They basically grade you. So they give you a certificate, and you will give that to your future employer, your employer, your prospective employers, as your like resume. Like, hey, there's not much. Don't really have this much experience, but hey, I got this piece of paper. I'm certified in this. I'm certified in that. I'm certified in that. Give me a job. And I look at you like, oh, someone that's committed and he's done this far. It wouldn't hurt to try to pick him on, see how things go. So that's basically what they do. So we got about a week. Well, we ended up actually doing a little bit more than like so-called week of machining, but we used we used saws. We were working with square stock. As sort of an example of one of my fuck ups. So that you see right there was sort of my screw up. If it focuses, probably won't focus. But this is basically aluminum block. I forgot what grade aluminum, but I forgot what grade of aluminum it is. But we were cutting it, and we were using sort of the wrong mill for it. Well, not the mill, but basically the wrong mill for it. Basically, the wrong tooling. And I was going too quick and taking off too much metal. Way too much metal for the speed that I was going at, and it pretty much destroyed the bit, so to say, destroyed the mill. And, well, destroyed the tooling. And, yeah, pretty much just destroyed the tooling. It destroyed the tooling. Well, it didn't really destroy it. It can be fixed, it can be repaired, but whatever. And it sort of pretty much destroyed the piece, which isn't actually that bad because I pretty much got everything else pretty good. So anyway, pretty much went faced this. Like we faced the two corners that we were working on just to make them look good, so we can get a mill even out, drill the hole in the center, and then do the cutout around it. I forgot what that's called, but I got the book. I can look into it. I'll tell you guys later about it. So anyway, we got some of that stuff done. We were like measuring and stuff like that. And well, as we were getting closer to the end of class, I went to go see one of their advisors as well. It's all the same college system basically. So I want to go see one of their advisors, just make sure everything's going fine, because I'm going to see my actual advisor. For you guys wondering, why can't you see your actual advisor? That's a different story, but I'll sort of put into it. So my home campus is about 15 minutes from where I live. It's part of a bigger system of schools. My home campus is about a mile from me. The advisor sort of specializes in this system or whatever. Is based out of a different campus, which is about 4 miles from me. The college that I was going to for this class was basically 20 miles away from me. 15, 20 miles away from me, depending on traffic and what route you take. So as you guys can see, I'm basically all over a giant excavator, and I wish I had a whiteboard so I could tell you guys how fucked up and how stupid this is, that I'm doing things the way I have to do it right now, which is incredibly basically stupid. So anyway, I talked to one of their advisors. Hey, I've met you before. How you been? You parked next to my car a few times. And we're talking. I was just talking to him like, hey, I just have a few questions. I'm G. I have a few questions about the major. I just want to make sure I'm doing things right now because I want to try to graduate as soon as I can. And he started asking questions. I gave him my student ID, gave him my name, what I do for a living, stuff like that. And he's the one asking, well, I can't really give you much information about that major that you're in because it's not our school. I want to know, how do you know about that major? And I'm like, oh, because my home campus is so and so college. And it's about maybe 15, 20 miles away from here. And he's like, why are you coming here then if you're like a mile away from that college or whatever? It's like, because those classes like these that they offer, they're only offered at nights, and I work nights, so I can't really go. I'm like, oh, you can't start late. I'm like, it's very difficult for me to do kind of that because I want to start I'm working in this trade right now, and I don't want to give up my job. I make good money. I don't want to really give up my job right now because right now that'd be considered extremely. Look at the world around us right now. It's not really a good point to say, you know what, I can go back to my old job and I might find something better. Like, it's not a risk that I'm willing to take at the moment. So I went and told the guy, hey, hey, this is basically what's going on. I just want to know if it's working, everything's going fine. Well, he looked at me, looked at my file, and then he looked at me, and well, currently you're not enrolled in that major that you're talking about, engineering. You're enrolled. I told him about my break and everything. He's like, well, currently you're enrolled in basically an undecided major. You're in manufacturing technology, but you're going to go graduate as an undecided in manufacturing technology or whatever. Manufacturing. And I was like, oh, but I was told about this other major and that all my classes would transfer in, no problem. And what can I do with this? And he's like, well, I don't really know how that works because, again, that's a completely new program. But I got a contact in that other college, and I think you might know him. I'm like, oh yeah, I know that guy. We talk. Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. We talk. He's like, yeah, well, I'll reach out to him with your situation. I'll ask him some questions, see if he can help out in any way. He can give me any advice on it, so I can sort of learn this too, so I can like help out someone else and you. Just come see me in a few days, and come see me next week. In a few days, I guess. I don't know if you come to class. I'm like, oh, blah blah blah. Yeah, I'll come see you. So next week on Monday, I got to class early. Class for me started at 8:30. I always get there around 7, so doors open at 8. So I would go in, singing around, and I saw the guy, and I was sort of like, hey, mind if I talk to you real quick? I was like, so you got any info or anything like that? So what he's saying is he actually doesn't know much about that either. He said he would reach out to sort of the leadership there and find out what's going on with that, because I sort of showed him all the classes that I had taken with that, like how close I had gotten to actually graduating for once, and he said he'd reach out to him and so they can find out what's going on there. And I was like, but if you would like, if you live that close there, you can stop by and try to set up a meeting with the person or meeting with the leadership of the department or whatever it is, see what's going on. And I was like, yeah, I think I have a card. I'll give him a call. So that day was my day off work. It was super awesome. So I got home basically around like 1 o'clock, and I rang up the guy. And I was like, hey. And I got a voicemail that said leave a message. So I left him and said, hey, it's me. I like set my student ID number to say, hey, so I've been in this school for this long. I've done a lot of the courses that are required, but my major was killed off. It's this so-and-so major. And I was told by someone else that these courses would go into that new one. And I just want to ask for some help because I don't know what's going on. And he said, hey, he sent me a text like 5 minutes later, I guess. He's like, hey, I'm in a meeting. Can you call me back later? And we'll get talking or whatever. So I said, yeah, I'll call you back. So I took a 2 hour nap and I called him back later and said, like, hey, my name's so and I'm me. If I called you a little bit ago. This is my student ID number, and this is what's going on. And he's like, well, this is a completely new major. And I looked through your record, but you haven't taken any of these classes. I'm going through your stuff right now, but you haven't taken any of these classes because these are all new classes. And I told him, no, I know. But I was in this major before I mentioned the one that was killed off, and I said, hey, so this is what happened. If you scroll, I've been in this college a long time. I was trying to figure things out. So if you scroll all the way down, you'll see all the new courses that I've taken in this major, and I can tell you about it. Tell you the class that I've taken. As again, it sort of went through the rant. Like I've taken computer integrated manufacturing, welding, intermediate welding. I've taken machining 1. Currently, I'm machining 2. I've taken industrial electricity. I've taken motor controls. I've taken PLC, a little bit of robotics here and there, and I've taken basically all the general education class that I need. But he's looked at me like, the way he said it was like, but all these are new classes and blah blah, and I knew it was sort of a lost cause at the moment. I was like, you know what? Let me talk to your advisor, and who's your advisor? Let me talk to them, and we'll see what's going on, and if there's anything we can do, and I'll have her call you back. So he went ahead. They called me back. They never reached out again to me. I've emailed again and again, but I haven't gotten really any response. They want me to basically set up an appointment, which is really difficult because the days I work are normal days I work. And again, I was already pissed off basically because I just found out I've gotten wrong information again. Like, not from these people right now, but with these colleges, like, I've been screwed over more than once. All because someone else because they didn't bother to get the whole thing. So once I hung up the phone, I cried for a little. I cried for a while, and I got pissed off immediately because of, like, what the fuck? Like, they're literally just dump all that time and money because I don't get financial aid. Never really got any scholarships. My last semester was the first time I've ever gotten a scholarship. Even though I was getting pretty good grades and stuff, but it's the first time I've ever gotten a scholarship. And I was proud, like, oh, life's turning right. I'm doing everything. I'm being successful. So, pretty much that Tuesday, I went back to class. Before I left class early that day, I went to go talk to the advisor and say, hey, so I don't think that's going to work out for me. Do you know any majors that I could pretty much graduate in as soon as possible? Because this engineering thing, I don't think it's going to happen. And he's like, yeah, let me look through it. And he said, well, right now, with this current major that you're in, which is the undecided in manufacturing, you just need 2 more classes. You need a humanities course. You basically just need 2 humanities courses, and you're good to go. So you could take, it's like I could take a psychology class and an art class, and the dude said, yes, you can. You get something like culture or whatever, it should kill both classes off, no problem. Okay. Thank you for all the help. This is my last week here. After that, I don't think I'm going to be coming back. They're like, yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, so, well, thank you. Nice to talk to you. Nice hanging out. Nice to know a little bit of your story, because even the security guards were talking about me at that point, because again, I would get out of work like around 6:30, something like that, and I would get to the campus around 7 o'clock. Oh, I would stop either pick up a large coffee or at a Burger King next door, or I would drive the other way and stop at Starbucks, pick up a coffee and like a bagel or something, or a cake pop, and drive over because priorities, and I had like 2 hours killed before class started. So I would go, I'll just go into the same parking spot, sit there, drink my coffee, eat my cake pop or whatever I bought that day, and take a nap or work on homework or study. And even the security lady, I never really asked for her name, but she was always saying, "Hey, are you like taking a nap in your car once you get here?" I'm like, "Yeah," and she was curious about it, so she asked. I guess, well, it's sort of her job to ask, what's this random dude like sitting in a car outside in the parking lot that early? Sometimes with the engine running, sometimes with the engine not running. Like, I should find out. We are in America. Things happen in America. Sadly, things happen in America. So anyway, like no, like so this is what's going on. Like, so I work night shifts. I work basically a 12-hour shift most of the time. I get out of work at this time, and if I was to drive home, I wouldn't have enough time to make it back. So basically stop, get a coffee, come park in, do my homework, or if you guys have an issue against it, I can park somewhere else. Like, no, you're fine, whatever. I guess they just wanted to know who's out there for that long. So basically, even the security knew about me at that point, and some of the professors that were parked next to me, knew about me at that point, and we were just talking. We were all hanging out, doing what we wanted to do. And, well, not doing what I wanted to do, was doing what I needed to do. So, end of the week. So, it was basically the last week of class. I went, took the final / NIMS test, and I passed by 2 questions. By like 32 out of 60 questions is what I passed with. And I passed. I got certified. I would show you guys the certification, but it has my name on it and some other info, so I can't really show you guys. But I got my certification. So I'm probably gonna print that on a good paper and print it out and put it on that wall right there with the Iron Man helmet. But the Avengers have fallen, and the Avengers poster. I'll show you guys the tour of the place eventually. But I'm gonna call that the achievement wall. I am probably gonna paint it, and probably might add some shelves here and there, so like some puppets or whatever. Yeah, so I can decorate this place a little bit more, make it more my own. And I'm sorry if I'm being chatty, being a chatty chica. It's been a long time since I used that phrase. It's been a long time since I heard that name. It used to be a name of some people I knew. So anyway, I graduated class. I ended the class with a B. That's the baby. I know I wanted an A, but I screwed up one of the tests. I know I got a D, but hey, I got a B. I graduated the class with a B. So eventually I got the email saying I was approved for pre-registration for classes. So I signed up for the 2 courses that I needed, which would be art appreciation and a psychology class. Could have probably chosen E3 classes. Yes, but again, that's what worked with my schedule and the classes sort of knew about, because I don't really want to go do some incredible challenge as easy as it might be, because again, I'm going to be decent classes. My work and my boss really don't know that I'm going to be taking. Well, they might know that they're probably like friends in the school or whatever, like HR or whatever, probably talking to them. So I'm going to take those 2 classes, and if everything goes the right way, the way I hope it goes, no, the way it will go, just I'm done with hoping. I'm just doing at this point. If it, once it goes the way it goes, I should be graduating in the fall. So I'm gonna have an associate degree in an undecided in manufacturing, I guess. So this adventure has been hell. Honestly, I was confused most of the time, and there are some more stories about college that I'm gonna tell you guys, talk to you guys about, and I will make future videos in it about it and the shit that happened, all the. Because when I think about it, and I've talked to some friends about it, and they're just wondering how the fuck did that get so that goes so bad or stuff like that, and a lot of them we've laughed at. Some of them like wondering like how the fuck have you not died of an aneurysm or something like that. And now that I mention it, I'm scared, but it's incredible. Like they're just wondering how have you managed the stress of all the shit that has happened, and I'm like, honestly, dude, I do not know. At this point, I do believe it's just spite. So, anyway, I registered for the classes I needed. I kept in contact with that advisor I was talking to, and over at that other campus. And once I graduate and get my degree, then I'll start mentioning school names and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna mention the names of people that fucked me over, mostly because I don't want to get sued, and I don't want to get sued. But other than that, I really just throw them out of my mind because I just don't feel that something like that should be remembered. I'm gonna be spiteful of them for the rest of my life, but just feel like if they were here the story, they'll know who they were. They'll know. They'll fucking know. And for the other people that sort of help me out, or the people that try to help me out, like, no harm's meant for you, nothing like that. I'm just being honest of what my college experience has been like for the past 6 years. Well, 5 years. It will be. No, 4 years. 2022, I graduated in 2018. 2018. No, I graduated in 2016. Yeah, 6 years at this point. Man, I'm a failure. Yeah, man, I'm a failure. I'm a fucking failure for hell. Damn, bro. So anyway, I went, before I go on a tangent again, I went, sent an email to my advisor, hey, this sort of class I'm planning to take, you think it's work? Yeah. And once it's time for registration, register, let me know, and I'll run the thing again, and I'll let you know if everything works out fine. So I have access to that app thing and the student portal, so I ran it myself, and it would come out works. But anyway, I did send him the list with everything again, just so I could get double confirmed to make sure I don't get screwed over or anything happens. And he was like, yeah. So that works. All you need to do is try to change these few settings on your portal. So it says you're ready to graduate or whatever. Basically ready to graduate. I did it. I wasn't seeing anything on my page, so I did the selection, changed the options that I need to change, and wasn't seeing anything. So sent them an email again. It's like email be back. It's like, oh, it takes about 24 to 48 hours, but once it happens, you'll get an official email from the college, and once it happens, just let me know, and I sent it. I read the email saying that I'm eligible for graduation. It's not a guaranteed graduation. Like if I fuck up, I don't graduate. But it's basically saying like, oh, we've seen your commitment, and we're committed to, blah blah blah. But once those last few credits are done and submitted and passed, I'll be eligible to graduate 6 years after starting community college. So at this point right now, It's December 2nd, 2022. My first day class should be around January, end of January, 2023. And after that, it's gonna be a dive bomb or whatever it is, a straight run, a sprint, my final sprint, and I will have an associate degree. Uh, After that, I plan on getting a bachelor's degree. I do want to get a bachelor's degree with all my heart. It's been a life goal for me since I was like 14 years old. It's been a life goal for me to go get a bachelor's degree. Uh, the thing with the route I took in school and everything that's been going on, I am probably going to. I'm gonna have to figure it out. I need to start doing my research now, because I am probably going to have to start with a clean slate. Any way to actually do it, because I'm done with the college system that I'm in right now. I've been screwed over a few times with people that don't know what they're talking about, or other people that don't know, don't ask questions, and they just assume the worst of you, or it's just, do I know how I'm gonna do it? No, but I know I'm gonna do it. It's a life goal of mine. So, what's my plan? I do want to get into. I love what I do right now. I want to keep learning it, but I do want to see a future in automation, in robotics, and stuff like that, because I'm fascinated by all of that. And I've seen equipment right now at my workplace that was probably there when the dinosaurs were running around. And it's amazing me how, again, it is simple machines that are doing all this shit, but at the same time, it's beautiful to me. It's something I can't get my big head around, how this machine can do that. Yeah, this machine, that giant machine can do this. These small machines can do that. It's basically it's its own ecosystem, and to me, it's amazing. It's wonderful. It's beautiful, and I do want to see my future in it. And if things don't go the way I plan them, oh well. Nothing in my life has gone according to plan. My college experience is just part of it. My high school experience was a completely different part of it, and nothing has ever really gone to plan. I didn't start life thinking I was gonna work in a factory and be proud of it. Again, it's like people bring the shame into it. Yet I make more than those people, which is amazing to me at the least. And but it's something to me that's amazing and I truly enjoy. So that's honestly what I'm gonna be doing. So I am gonna keep uploading. I guess hope you guys really enjoy the quality of the video. At least audio and video quality, because I don't know about audio quality. This should be going through my mixer board, through this microphone, and through my mixer board. If I did clip, I'm so sorry. It's going through my camera. I'm gonna shove this all into Adobe Premiere, and probably not gonna do much editing at all. I'm probably just gonna format it all into one thing and upload it to YouTube. But there are gonna be more college stories. I'm probably gonna throw some high school stories into the mix, even though I'm sort of ashamed of my high school life, basically. But I'll throw that on there too, because there was some fun experience, some funny experiences, some adventures, some tragedy, mystery, disdain, and death. Mostly disdain. Not much death. Actually, no death in my high school. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. As of right now, any of my high school classmates are dead. I hope not. They were all good. They were all nice and good people. Most of them were. Except you. You know who you were. You were a fucking asshole. And I hope life goes horribly for you. Honestly, that's all I can say. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I know it's a little bit Silence of the Strand at some point, but I'm proud of it, and I'll see you guys around. So, peace out.